Hot take on Inside Out. Emotions are not at the core of a person. Cue the music.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, and welcome to a bonus episode of the Good Leader Podcast. It's bonus because we're in the middle of Pixar Palooza. Inside Out is not even in our top 8. They're not going to make the tournament. We've talked about A Bug's Life. We've talked about Incredibles. We've talked about Onward. We're still going to talk about Cars 3, Toy Story 3, and any of the other 3s. But today, Lemuel came in hot. He posted on our Slack channel a hot take that... What did you say? I mean, you said at the beginning there, emotions are not at the core. Where are they? What are you talking about?
So this is unashamedly a theological point.
Okay.
And so my whole thing, I'll say it, comes from 1 Thessalonians 5. We are spirit, soul, and body. And I think spirit is at the core of people. Emotions are part of the soul, and they are not at the very center of somebody.
I think Aristotle would agree with you also.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big fan of like the tripartite person, I think is what it's called.
Yeah. So I feel like the premise, I will say the movie is so engaging.
It's a great movie.
The
Inside
idea
Out's
of,
phenomenal.
You know, Joy's pulling all the strings and
Yeah.
getting all the emotions together. It's a very engaging movie, but that's my hot take.
Okay, all right. That's a great hot take. Now, Jess, this is one that you've actually seen, right?
Right.
You've seen Inside Out.
It's probably my favorite.
Is it? When it's the only one you've seen.
Aside
That's a
from-
short list.
Okay.
Do you like Toy Story or Inside Out?
Nemo.
Monsters, Inc.
Okay. But so this is just the quick take then. This is the quick take on Inside Out because it's not making the tournament. I don't know. How did it not make the tournament, by the way? I don't even know what we did. I got to go back and listen to episodes. We're building this around Inside Out,
I
too.
missed that episode, so I have no idea like where you guys even got
I
any
think
of
we
this.
let Brian have a little too much sway.
I was about to say, last time I was on, it was in.
But then it got kicked out for Coco.
Bunch of goons.
Mama Coco.
Coco's good.
Coco is good. It's hard for me not to think the little boy is Coco. Anybody else? I mean, his name is Miguel.
I haven't seen Coco, so
Oh, my dad. Of course. You know.
Sorry.
Way to bring me down.
why am I here?
Sometimes you don't even have to say it. Sometimes you can just,
Bring you down?
Yeah, you bring me down on that. You haven't seen Coco?
I'm sorry.
Coco's good, but you have seen Inside Out.
I have.
All right, so over there, deep thinker Lim. He brought the heat. Soul and spirit, soul versus spirit, and you're like your spirit's at your core. No, your soul's at your core. What's at your core? Your soul or spirit?
Spirit.
Your spirit's at your core.
Yeah.
And then your soul's different.
Yeah.
And you think the emotions are more in the soul of a person.
Yeah, that's
not
what
the
I
spirit
think.
of a person.
That's what I think.
Okay, so you went deep. I
my
will
opinion.
say, Christianity aside, or deep theology aside, it's a deep movie. I mean,
It
the
is.
idea,
It is.
I mean, even if you just look at it from a purely psychological, it's like, wow, okay, why do I think the way I think? Why are my emotions the way they are?
Maybe a simpler way to say it is I think there's more to a person than only their emotions.
Well, how do you feel about the islands of personality then?
That's curious. I'm going
Well
to
said.
hold my take on that.
Okay, all right, because I feel like the islands of personality are really what drive her.
Okay.
Now, we are really breaking down Inside
This is
Out.
deep. Soup's deep.
But I think that because you've got the emotions, you got the core memories, but the core memories fuel the islands of emotion. So I actually think that I think Inside Out may align with you.
Okay.
Like I think the spirit,
Okay.
their version of spirit would be the islands of personality. Jess,
Okay.
do you have an opinion on this?
Well, I was gonna ask if you could rewrite it or reframe the movie in the light of like the spirit is the main.
Okay.
How would it look differently?
Ooh,
Oh
I
my
like
goodness.
that question.
Oh my goodness, that's deep.
That's journalism
You
coming
brought
out right
You
there.
Can I-
brought deep
Wow.
to the combo.
Can I get back
That's right.
with
You
that?
brought
I
deep,
think I have an
You
answer.
brought deep to this picnic, son.
I need
sure
to go
did.
like.
I think I
study
have an
that.
answer to that.
Okay, what's
You
your
take
answer to
it.
that,
You have
Kyle?
another character, and they change colors based on whoever of the emotions is like in the driver's seat.
I see that.
So
Okay.
it's like Joy. Oh, it's the yellow. The spirit character is controlling Riley, but they turn yellow whenever Joy's in control.
Oh,
So it might be
interesting.
like the control board, but maybe might help if
Interesting.
it's like
Okay. Like
the
a driver's
spirit
seat.
taking kind of
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
I like
All
that.
right.
I don't know.
Well, see,
Interesting.
I do like the idea of islands of personality. Just
Yeah.
decide. We've done some activities with that, with
sure.
paradigm shift, and it's really cool just to think about like,
Yeah.
okay, this is like family is really important to me. Sports are important to me. Honesty, I think
Goofy
is. Can I name all of Riley's islands?
Goofy Island.
Goofball Island is one.
Yeah.
What's the other one? I'm missing one. It's Goofball Island, Family Island, Hockey Island is the fifth one. I said sports though.
You did.
I missed one. There are 5, right? It's
Football.
hockey. It's not another sport. It's
Football.
Hockey Island. It's Family Island. It's Goofball Island. Honesty Island. And What's the other one?
I'm not sure.
Are there only 4? Research team will get on this. All right. The research team will get on this. Jess, okay, aside from that deep theological lesson, what about you with Inside Out? Any thoughts on it?
There's just something, I mean, obviously I am a empathetic person. So the first time you mention emotions and making, like, how they make up an individual, I'm sold.
Friendship Island. It just hit me because she's friends with the girl. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I was listening to you, but then it hit me because she's
Friendship
friends with the
Island.
girl, and when she gets mad at her, shuts the computer, Friendship Island starts to shake.
Yes.
Back to you, Jess.
Yeah, there's just something about it that I feel like it was the gap that was missing in Pixar in the way that it was just very, like, obviously the other movies, the ones that I've seen,
Yeah.
drag you in like some sort of way, but this one really like shows you that recognizing emotions is important. And also I feel like I do love the personality islands too. Like each little personality island that Riley had like really did make up who she was as a person, and they evolved over time.
Yeah.
And they developed, I mean, new personalities were coming. So, I mean, I don't know. There's something about it that speaks to being your own individual.
Yeah, I am. What I'm taking away, it's an interesting thought. I really took Lemuel's thought, and I was like, wow, he's going deep on this. What are we going to do with the podcast on that? We're just going to have a sermon here.
Oh,
I
man.
do like the idea though of this question: how in control are your emotions?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would argue that your emotions should not be in control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logic.
That would be, well, and maybe not even logic, but I think emotions, and this is just my 2 cents. I think you cannot really control the initial response of your emotions. Like when I get angry, like, okay, I'm mad, I'm angry, but I can control what I do with that. In other words, like I may be angry, but I don't have to throw stuff off the table. I don't have to hit something, but I am angry. So I don't like the phraseology. We talk about social emotional learning a lot, and I don't like the idea of control your emotions. I like the phrase control your reactions.
Yeah.
Can I push back against that
push
super
back.
fast?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I like the idea of training your emotions.
Okay.
So there's this idea in psychology,
Okay.
like operant conditioning.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard of like Skinner or like Pavlov or
Yes.
like these people who like
Yep.
train reactions. So there's this idea going around that like you can train your initial reaction to something.
Okay.
So I like the idea, like even in the moment, you might not be able to, but over time, I think you might be able to control your emotions or train your emotions.
I think that
I think that's probably true.
I think if you do that willingly, that's incredible. But if you do that inherently,
right.
based on like
Yeah.
maybe just like
That's
traumatic
good.
experience.
That's true.
Yeah, I would
that's
say
good.
it's a process, not inherent.
Yeah, then
like,
it's just kind of something that
intrinsic
happens
in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going deep on another route, but I agree with what you're saying.
So
Jess, and
sorry.
I like that. No. I'm
It's
glad we're
good.
having the
It's a good thought.
conversation because my thought is there's a part in Inside Out that I really love, and I think it's a more sophisticated element that they brought to the movie. Is there's a part where when Riley, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but when she's running away and she just gets numb, and the emotions are like she's not feeling anything. She's just numb. So none of the emotions can do anything with the board
Yeah.
because she's not feeling anything anymore. And so I think there's a great truth in that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where, like I said, I'm not a psychologist, but I do think the idea of, I don't like the idea of emotional decision making. I guess is what I'm coming up with. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm basing this decision because I'm angry, you know, and it's like, oh, okay. And I only want my decisions to be filled with joy. I love that. I love the idea of this emotional maturity, that there is a place for sadness. There is a place for joy. There is a place for even fear.
Yeah.
You know, there's a place for these things
And
depending
I
on, you
table
know.
agree with all that.
I like that
We need
a
to
lot.
be able to feel all these
Yeah,
things.
but that's not in control of
Yeah.
me. That's not, you know what I'm saying? So where I differ is that they're controlling the board or whatever.
Yeah.
I go a little further and I'm like, and this is where I kind of wanted to land the plane, at least for all of us, is I think good leadership, if we want to wrap this up, is not emotional based decision making.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
I will
For the most
frame,
part.
Like, I will frame this movie is about a young girl.
Fair enough. You know what? Great point.
So I will
Great
say
point,
I
great
think
point.
that as we get to, you know, even my frontal lobe just fully developed. Okay, so I am just getting to the
And
point.
we're not even sure.
And it's
You know what
like
I'm saying? I
and
mean,
it might
maybe.
be like
It's close.
It might be like 80%.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I'm even starting to get to the point in my life where I'm not making emotional based decisions.
Yes.
And it's just I think it's just like something.
Oh my
that
gosh,
you-
yes. When you're 13, all of your decisions are emotional. I mean, it's
Right,
like,
yeah.
you know, and it's hard to control that,
Yeah.
which is why we try to help students even go like, yeah, let's recognize that. But as we progress, I will say this, I I know a lot of leaders, and by leader, I'm using that term broadly. I'm talking about directors, people in managerial positions, people who are overseeing people in the workplace, that they are making emotionally based decisions frequently, you know? And like I said, I don't want to say that there is no place for that, because there might be a place where it's like, hey, this is a great day, and let's leave early. Why? Well, because it's a great day, and that was a big win, and it's a joyous moment. Let's ride that momentum. That may be an emotional decision. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like never. I don't know. But even then, there's a logic to, no, this is good. This will build momentum. I just think many people make decisions often in good leadership. Good leadership does not frame decisions based on emotion. And that's where I want to go.
Can I ask, is there like another thing that they frame their decisions on?
I have one, and we could probably do an entire episode on it. And this is not me speaking with authority. It's just me speaking with ideas. I enjoy the phrase values-based decisions, like values-based decision making, which is why I think having core values in an organization is very important, which is why as a human, as a person, knowing who you are as a person, what do you believe, what are your values, and then basing decisions based on that. You know, like if I value honesty and integrity, then I'm going to make decisions based on that. Not fear. Oh, I'm scared of what this person's going to say if I tell them the truth. Therefore, I don't say it. Well, that's an emotional based decision.
Yeah.
Fear versus, I know you're not going to want to hear this, but I value honesty and integrity, and I want to be a person of integrity. Let me tell you this bad news. I know you're going to hate my guts for a little bit. You might not ever talk to me again, but I'm going to tell you the truth. That's what I mean by that. So values-based decision-making, whether that's your core values and saying like, listen, our core values of expect greatness and move mountains and, you know, those things, that guides some of our decision-making. It should. And you as a good leader, I believe articulating those values then and having them at the ready wherever you are as a leader in life, that then is healthier than emotional-based decision-making.
Yeah.
So that's my theory.
I like it.
That's good
Okay.
stuff.
Well, that's our Inside Out episode. I appreciate us treading into deep waters there. You know, soul versus spirit. We even had a biblical reference today. We got a lot of great stuff. Hey, wherever you fall on the emotional spectrum today, we hope that this little podcast has been a tidbit of joy in your day. So go out there and be a good leader.